A credit card with a 29%, 99% APR on a $5,000 balance paid down at minimum payment generates roughly $1,400 in interest in the first year alone. The balance barely moves. The card issuer collects. And the rewards rate on that same card, when you run the math against the annual fee, nets the average cardholder somewhere between $40 and $60 of actual value per year. That is the arrangement on one side of this ranking. The other side exists. Cards with no annual fee, no foreign transaction fee, and published APRs that do not require a law degree to locate in the Schumer box. 5 credit cards on the market today are structured to extract through fees and APR mechanics that most cardholders never examine before signing the application. 3 deliver documented value with fee schedules that hold up under scrutiny. Starting at number 8 with a product whose television budget is significantly larger than the net value it returns to the average cardholder. Number 8, the Credit One Bank Platinum Visa establishes the pattern this ranking will follow. The annual fee starts at $75 in the first year and rises to $99 in subsequent years. The published APR range runs from approximately 28% to 99% variable, which sits at the ceiling of what most major issuers charge. The cash advance APR is the same. The foreign transaction fee is 3%. The late fee runs up to $40. There is no sign-up bonus in the traditional sense, and the rewards rate on everyday purchases runs at 1% cash back, meaning that on $300 of monthly spending, you are earning roughly $3 in rewards while paying $8.25 per month toward the annual fee alone. The mechanism here is straightforward. Credit One targets cardholders with limited or rebuilding credit and charges near-premium fees for a product with no premium benefit structure. The consumer who cannot qualify elsewhere pays a fee schedule calibrated to extract, not to reward. The result is a card that functions less like a financial tool and more like a monthly subscription to the privilege of having any card at all. The fee structure closes the case. Credit One is a mid-tier subprime issuer with a name designed to rhyme with Capital One in advertising contexts. The confusion is not accidental. For the consumer, the premium is paid for access, not value. Number 7, the First Premier Bank MasterCard takes the subprime extraction model further and applies it with a fee architecture that the CFPB has scrutinized in prior enforcement contexts around the industry. The annual fee on the First Premier card has historically ranged from $75 to $125 depending on the credit limit assigned. The APR has been published at 36% on some product variants, the legal ceiling in many states. The credit limit on entry-level products is frequently set at $300, meaning the annual fee alone consumes 25 to 40% of the available credit limit upon account opening. Under Federal Reserve Board rules on the Credit Card Act of 2009, fees in the first year cannot exceed 25% of the credit limit. First, Premier has operated products that approach this boundary across multiple product iterations. The mechanism is the credit limit compression. A $300 credit limit with a $95 annual fee leaves the consumer with $205 of usable credit. Utilization is structurally elevated from day one, which can suppress the credit score the consumer is theoretically trying to build. The product does not accelerate credit building. In many cases, the fee structure inhibits it. Verdict: the cost of access is priced to benefit the issuer, and the structural mechanics work against the stated purpose of the product. The First Premier case is the floor of the subprime segment. The next product lives in the premium segment and extracts through a different mechanism, one that is less visible because the marketing is considerably more polished. Number 6, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, issued by JP Morgan Chase, presents a more sophisticated fee structure. The annual fee is $650. Chase credits $300 per calendar year toward travel purchases as a statement credit, which brings the effective annual fee to $350 if you spend $300 or more on travel in a given year, which most applicants do, because the card targets frequent travelers. The APR range on the Chase Sapphire Reserve runs from approximately 22.49% to 49% variable, depending on creditworthiness at application. The rewards calculus here requires attention. The card earns 3 points per dollar on travel and dining, 1 point per dollar on everything else. Chase Ultimate Rewards points transfer to airline and hotel partners. The stated value of a Chase point varies between 1 cent and approximately 2 cents depending on redemption method. To break even on the $650 annual fee through rewards alone after the $300 travel credit, a cardholder needs to spend roughly $17,500 per year on travel, and dining at 3 points per dollar and a conservative one, 5 cent per point valuation. JP Morgan Chase, the parent company, was the subject of a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau enforcement action in 2015, a settlement of approximately $216 million related to debt collection practices. A pattern of enforcement actions across the institution is documented in the CFPB database. The Sapphire Reserve itself is a structurally premium product. The fee is not hidden, but the break-even math is not on the back of the card, and most cardholders do not run it. For the consumer who travels fewer than 12 times per year and does not maximize transfer partners, the product is an annual fee with a travel credit attached. The premium is paid for the aspiration of the category, not the realized value. Before we move into the 2 remaining cards on the extraction side of this ranking, 4 tests that apply to every product on this list and every card you consider after watching this video. First, open the Schumer box. Every credit card application is legally required to include a federally standardized disclosure of the APR range, annual fee, foreign transaction fee, balance transfer fee, and late fee. If those numbers are not visible within 30 seconds of visiting the product page, that is itself a signal. Find the Schumer box. Read it before the rewards page. Second, for savings accounts and checking accounts, find the published APY on the bank's own disclosure page, not on the home page, on the deposit agreement. Then compare it to what Marcus by Goldman Sachs, SoFi, Ally, and Discover Bank are publishing on the same day. If your current savings account pays under 1% APY and you have not made that comparison in the last 12 months, you have already paid a premium you did not choose. Third, search the institution on the CFPB enforcement database. The database is public. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Capital One, and JP Morgan Chase all appear in it with multiple actions and documented dollar amounts. One enforcement action is not automatically disqualifying. A repeated pattern for the same category of violation, junk fees, fake accounts, misleading disclosures, is a documented behavioral signal about the institution's relationship with its customers. Fourth, for any 401k or IRA fund product, pull the expense ratio for every fund in the plan. A 1% expense ratio applied to a 30-year accumulation period extracts approximately 30% of the total return over that period. Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab publish index funds with expense ratios below 0, 10%. If the funds inside your workplace plan are averaging above 0, 50%, the provider is extracting a premium that compounds against you every year between now and retirement. Every video on this channel applies these same tests. No affiliate commissions from the products reviewed. No sponsored placements from credit card issuers. If that is the kind of analysis you wish someone did before you opened your next account, you already know what to do. Number 5. The Citi Diamond Preferred Card, operated under Citibank, presents a structurally different extraction model, one built around the balance transfer window. The card has been marketed primarily on its introductory APR offer. 0% on balance transfers for an introductory period that has ranged from 18 to 21 months depending on the offer cycle at time of application. There is no annual fee. The balance transfer fee is 3 to 5% of each transfer, meaning a $5,000 balance transfer costs $150 to $250 at the point of transfer. The standard variable APR after the introductory period runs approximately 18, 24% to 28, 99%, depending on creditworthiness. The mechanism is the cliff. The consumer carries a balance into the promotional window, pays it down, and if any balance remains at the end of the promotional period, the full variable APR applies immediately. There is no grace period extension. The promotional structure is legitimate and documented, and for a consumer who can pay the full transfer amount within the window, the product can reduce interest costs. For the consumer who cannot, and Citi's own application data suggests a meaningful percentage of balance transfer customers do not fully retire the balance within the promotional period the cliff arrives, and the extraction model activates. The APR that follows is among the higher variable rates in the non-subprime segment. Citibank's parent, Citigroup, has faced documented enforcement actions from the CFPB, including a 2023 action resulting in a $25.9 million penalty related to discriminatory credit card practices. The Diamond Preferred Card itself is not the subject of that action, but the institutional context is part of the documented record. Verdict: the promotional window is real, but the product is engineered around the consumer who does not exit the window clean. Number 4. The Indigo MasterCard represents the peak of this ranking's extraction tier. Issued through Celtic Bank and serviced by Genesis Financial Solutions, the Indigo targets the deep subprime segment with an annual fee that has ranged from $59 to $99 on a credit limit that has frequently been set at $300 at account opening. The APR on the Indigo MasterCard has been published at 24, 90% fixed on some product variants. But the fee structure is the mechanism of extraction, not the interest rate. The ratio is the case. A $99 annual fee on a $300 credit limit means 33% of the available credit is consumed before the first purchase. Under the Credit Card Act, fees in the first year are capped at 25% of the credit limit, but subsequent years are not subject to that cap in the same way, which means the fee-to-limit compression can persist or worsen at renewal. The product advertises itself as a credit-building tool. The structural mechanics do not support that framing. Genesis Financial Solutions and Celtic Bank are not subject to the same level of public enforcement documentation as top-tier national issuers, but the product's fee-to-limit ratio is itself the documented evidence. No enforcement action is required to read the numbers. Verdict: you are not building credit. You are paying a recurring fee for a credit limit that is functionally depleted by the cost of holding the card. That closes the extraction half. The next product opens the side where the fee schedule is the point, not the problem. Number 3. The Discover It Cashback Card, issued by Discover Bank, brings a structurally different fee architecture to this ranking. There is no annual fee. There is no foreign transaction fee. The APR range runs approximately 18, 24% to 27%. 24% variable, which is not the lowest in the market but is disclosed clearly in the Schumer box, without the layered fee structure that defines the cards above it. The balance transfer fee is 3% during a promotional window and 5% after. The reward structure is 5% cash back on rotating quarterly categories, typically grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, and Amazon, in rotation on up to $1,500 per quarter, then 1%. All other purchases earn 1%. In the first year, Discover matches all cash back earned, effectively doubling the return. On $1,500 of spending per quarter at 5%, that is $75 per quarter, $300 per year, matched to $600 in year 1. Discover Bank is a direct banking institution. It operates without a traditional branch network, and its regulatory record with the CFPB, while not without history, reflects a different scale of enforcement activity than the top 4 national banks. The product is not perfect. The APR range for cardholders who carry balances remains elevated relative to credit unions. But the fee schedule is clean for a no annual fee product, and the rewards math holds up under the same scrutiny applied to the cards above it. Verdict: fee schedule is honest, and the rewards math is verifiable without assumptions about partner-locked redemptions. Number 2, the Citi Double Cash Card, also from Citibank, takes a direct approach to the rewards versus fee question. There is no annual fee. The foreign transaction fee is 3%, which is a disclosure box item worth noting for international travelers, but for domestic spending, the product delivers a flat 2% cash back on all purchases, 1% when you buy, 1% when you pay. No rotating categories, no enrollment required, no cap. On $12,000 of annual spending, roughly $1,000 per month, the Citi Double Cash returns $240 per year in cash back at a 2% rate with no annual fee to subtract. That math holds regardless of what categories you spend in. The competing cards in this tier either require category management to reach a comparable return, or charge an annual fee that reduces the net yield. The APR range on the Citi Double Cash runs approximately 19, 24% to 29%. 24% variable. For a cardholder who pays in full each month, the APR is irrelevant. For a cardholder who carries a balance, the 2% rewards rate cannot offset a 19 to 29% APR, which is true of every rewards card in this format, and worth stating plainly. The institutional context is Citibank, with the documented enforcement history noted in the prior block. The product itself does not carry that record, and the fee schedule is among the most transparent in the non-subprime segment. Verdict: flat 2% with no annual fee and no category management is a published commitment that holds up under the arithmetic. Number 1 on this ranking, the Fidelity Rewards Visa Signature Card, issued by Elan Financial Services in partnership with Fidelity Investments, delivers a level of fee transparency that separates it from every other product reviewed here. There is no annual fee. There is no foreign transaction fee. The APR range runs approximately 19-24% to 29-24% variable, which is mid-market for the segment. The rewards rate is 2% cash back on all purchases with no category restrictions, no enrollment, and no cap deposited automatically into a Fidelity brokerage, cash management, or retirement account. That last detail is the mechanism that distinguishes this product. The 2% cashback does not go to a statement credit redeemable on partner portals. It goes into a Fidelity account where it becomes investable capital. On $15,000 of annual spending, that is $300 per year deposited into a brokerage or IRA. Over 30 years, at a 7% average annual return, $300 per year invested compounds to approximately $30,000. The rewards are not points subject to program changes. They are dollars in a tax-advantaged or brokerage account. Fidelity itself operates index funds with expense ratios at 0% on its zero fund line and 0.015% on its total market index fund, the lowest in the industry. The institutional alignment between a zero annual fee cashback card and a fund provider with the lowest published expense ratios in retirement accounts is not accidental. Fidelity's structure as a privately held company, not publicly traded, removes the shareholder pressure to extract that drives fee escalation at publicly traded issuers. Elan Financial Services, the card issuer, operates under U.S. Bancorp, which has faced documented CFPB enforcement actions. The Fidelity Rewards card itself does not carry a known enforcement record, and the fee schedule is clean across all disclosed categories. Verdict: no annual fee, no foreign transaction fee, 2% cash back deposited as investable capital, and an institutional partner with the lowest expense ratios in the retirement account segment. Publish fee schedule in honest alignment with what the consumer actually receives. Across the 8 credit cards analyzed in this ranking, one pattern holds without exception. The extraction products are not hiding their fees in microscopic text. They are publishing them in Schumer boxes that most cardholders do not read before signing the application. The mechanism of the hidden fee is not always concealment. It is the reasonable expectation that you will not do the arithmetic before the card arrives in your mailbox. The fee schedule is the product. The marketing is the distraction. In an industry where the application